Hello, welcome back. We are moving on to the next signature in our album for Scrap and Create, featuring Sir Vagabond in Fantasy World. And we are on signature number 5. So let's get right to it. This is going to be a flap up with a small flap down. And you're going to use the 12 by 12 sheet of paper that has the big heart on it, or the big rose on it. And I did fussy cut mine out, mounted it a little bit so it would come up. You do not have to do that if you choose not to. I did cut out this saying to put on the front. I'm going to kind of accent it a little bit with one of the ephemera gold gears. Put it here on the bottom to replace the one that's on the image itself. And put those off to my left. And then it's going to open up and you're going to find the 12 by 12 sheet for this. And we'll get into the cutting on this in just a minute. From my scraps, I took this piece, made a small bottom flap because we've got a couple of magnets that are going to go in here. And then we have 2 panels, fold-out panels on the inside. And then we have the base piece with another big pocket tuck. The base piece is measuring, on this one is about 8 3/8 by 9 1/2. Did I do that right? Hold on. I looked at it wrong. I'm sorry, 9 3/4. That didn't sound right because they haven't been that short. Okay, so now these 2 pockets are going to measure 4 1/2. You're going to score at 1/2. You want 2 of them. There's going to be 1 on either side. And then this piece, I really liked it. I just loved the image on this. And so I took this out of my spare parts over here. And I'm going to use it for down here. So this also came out of my spare parts list over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this bottom pocket on. There we go. I'm trying to convince myself that it's warm enough to be out in my shed. I like to have the nice quiet privacy of it when I'm crafting. I'm sure all the crafters do. I'm going to need to refill my glue. I should have checked that. Makes this a very lively page. I just really like it. Now, if you want to go into that piece that has the different scripts on it, you could cut it out and put one here, maybe back it on a little bit of black cardstock. I'm going to leave mine the way it is for now. All right, so I'm going to start with my left panel. Put it on. Because we're going to have a top and a bottom flap, it's going to be easier to put these on now. Boy, I'm just throwing everything. What in the world? I'm kind of crazy today, I guess. Line that up. And I'm going to make sure that it's all in there. And then we will do the same for the right side panel. Even this up, top to bottom. Okay, gonna press and kind of reinforce that seam a little bit. Okay, so from my scraps, I'm kind of mixing and matching images for these to see. I don't want to use him. I'm going to use him. And then that means by default, I am going to use this side. I could use this side. I hadn't thought about that. Huh. I like it better. And then I'll use these two images on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this side. In fact, I don't think I inked any of these at all. No, I didn't. So I sincerely apologize. Okay, I just really like this image here. So we are going to put this down. And slip it in. And then one last look here to see if that's really what I want to do. I do. Okay, so we'll glue it on this side. And then in here, it's gonna go this way because this this is a part of this image here. So to stay in concert with that, the rays of the sun, if you will, I'm going to put it to the left. And again, I did not ink, so again, my apologies while I quickly do this. No, it's going to be this side. And lay this in here. Straighten this out a little bit. I'd already done these two, and I think I just kind of got sidetracked and then didn't follow through with the rest of these. Okay, and that must mean, did I ink? Yes, I did. Did I ink? No, I did not. I only did the inner circle. So again, you don't have to fussy cut out that rose, but you can if you wish. Okay, so that's done. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to put in the bottom flap first. What did I do with them? I am using two really small magnets, one in each corner, to connect with this bottom piece. Now this bottom piece, I cut this 3 3/4, scoring it at 1/2 and scoring it at 5/8. And it is by the width of the piece, which is 8 1/4 roughly. Where'd my, oh, there it is. Now we're going to put the bottom piece in just like we do any of the side panels when we have score lines and a gusset to work with. I want this to come right up to, and it's not, there we go, come on, snuggle up there. I want it to come up to that 1/2 inch score mark, and then I'm gonna fold this over and burnish it really well. Turning it over, I'm gonna push back on that 5/8 score line, burnish it again to encourage it to stand up. So I will now add the top piece because we've got to sit those magnets. Same thing, gonna come up to the 1/2 inch score mark. Push that over, burnish the tape, push back, and give it the score mark another good pressing there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the tape off of this side of the magnets. You know, I know there's an easier way to do this, but you know, I like to do things just a little bit on the difficult side. I'm determined, is what it is. I'm determined to win this. Now get off my finger. Okay. Making sure that my gussets are straight and that I'm level here on both sides, and then I'll press. Now I'm going to add this piece in down here. Again, this came out of my scrap, and I think it was one of the strips that I cut across the top of one of the pages. But I like the imaging that's on it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Dad blasted. I wanted to tape this because there are magnets there, so bear with me. I am going to correct this right now, and I'm going to let that piece dry while I work on this piece. I'm turning it upside down simply because it's a lot easier for me to work when the images are with me instead of way up there. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to make sure this time that I am going to put tape on this. On the last video, I made the signature, and I think if you remember, it wasn't clasping closed, and I was questioning where my magnet went. And I am so glad that I always tape where I put my magnets, because what had happened was I had put the piece of designer paper on the wrong side. And remember when I had to take the flap off and then I turned it around? Well, I had already set the magnet to that, so that made the magnet on the inside of the flap instead of the outside. So luckily I had used tape. I was able to go in there and remove the magnet. I had to undo a little bit of the seam that I had taped in, and then pulled that magnet out, and then removed enough around the edge to slide that magnet in on the other side, where it was supposed to be on the front end of the signature. Because things do happen, and I would have ruined, well, I would have ruined an entire piece of paper and cardstock because I didn't tape had I just glued. Okay, my paper is upside down because when I turn this around it will be right side up, and I'm just going to sit this in here. Make sure it's in there. And then I'll take the tape out. I like this piece. I think it's kind of pretty. It's got some different elements in it that make it kind of striking. You know, the floral, the bricks, the gears, this sundial, and then you've got the gargoyle. I just think there's so much of the images in this. It's the sky. This is really pretty. Okay, so now I think this is dry enough. We're going to go ahead and now tape this side. Oops. That was kind of a senior moment right there. Let's just tape 3 sides of this. All right. Set this in here. I like this. We kind of got a theme going on this build-up. And opening this all up, I just realized I did not select a piece for this. So let's see what we have over here real quick. That's going to work. It needs to be about 3 some inches. I'm getting to where I've used all the bigger pieces, and now I've got just all these strips, smaller strips. Images are going all the wrong way. What am I gonna do? See, that's not big enough. This one is, but is that gonna work? Is that gonna flow with things? I think depending upon how I do it, it should do just fine. Make my little marks, and then I'm going to come over here and trim real quick. Okay. That didn't take too long. I think my glue tip tried to dry out on me here. There we go. This will look just fine. Color coordination is still there. It's going to match with the rest of the images. All right, let's work on the front piece. Now I'm going to glue around here, but because it's so large, I'm going to tape around the rest of the edges, and I will do my glue last. That's odd. It looks so much the same on both sides. I had to question myself. This has actually turned out to be a pretty quick and easy signature to build. And it gives you a lot of those larger surfaces for putting in those larger images, your bigger photos. Okay, I am going to take off these three here first because I don't want the paper sticking to me when I'm manipulating it around, but I want to get the glue on here. Get this ready because I can come back in on the edges and pull the tape off from there. So I'm gonna the glue around these edges so they'll stay down. And then I'm gonna line it up here across the bottom, and it should just lay down in its place. Okay. Now the rose, I'm just going to glue. All this is just extra black cardstock. It was kind of a thin weight, so I just double mounted it. What do I got going on here? slide the petals, the rose, everything right back into place. Gives it a little bit of height and some depth. And then I go to your quotes and sayings. If you wish, you can leave it just the way that it is, but I wanted to add a little bit of something, so I chose this one. It feels good to be lost in the right direction. And I'm going to put that down here. And then in the ephemera, there's the beautiful little gold gear that I'm going to use to replace this one here. These are adhesive backed. So if I can get it off of there easily enough. Let's see, the little, looks like it goes on this way. And then glue it. I'm going to just slide it right in here. And then if you want, you can put in another pocket here. That's entirely up to you. You've got the scraps for it, I know you do. And we got that big pocket right there. So let's turn it over and let's get the tape on for mounting it in the album. This is number 5. I think we only have 2 signatures to go. And we might have some leftover paper. See, we'll be close. By my counts, there might be maybe 2, 3 sheets of paper left. Okay, grab the album, flip to our page, and we'll get ready to add the signature. And once again, I like to turn it this way so I can see 3 of the sides, making sure I've got this going in the right direction. I'm going to lay this right up next to the page edge and then make sure that their top and bottom are fairly even. And then I'm going to press, burnish, and then I'll come in here and take this tape off. Not being nice. Come on. I'm going to need to stand this up so I can see the top of this tape. And then I noticed it was sticking a little over the edge, so I use my finger and roll it back in there. I gotta do a little bit of bending here so I can see it. There we go. And voila, it's done. That was kind of a fast one. And I will see you on the next build.